Nice floppies. 610 WIOD, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
610 WIOD presents Karen K. To join the show, call 622-WIOD in Dade, 767-WIOD in Broward. Mobile One and AT&T wireless customers can call toll-free at pound IOD. And across North America, it's toll-free at 1-888-474-WIOD. And now, Karen K.
Wow, that's so cool. I have my own open. I feel very important. Hi, I'm Karen K. It's WIOD. I have a confession to make. I'm going to get this out of the way right away because I know you're going to hear about it tomorrow, and I just, I want to come clean. You've been hearing Neil talk in the afternoon or talk about the guy named Walter Sabo, who's the consultant. Walter Sabo is my boyfriend. Okay, I said it. It's out. It's out. It's done. I feel so much better. Have you ever dated somebody that you work with? It sucks because I'm totally screwed. I'm screwed already. I said it. It's out there, but I'm screwed. I heard somebody screaming in the hall. Oh, my God. Yes, it's true. Walter Sabo is my boyfriend. So come and get me. Have you ever dated? Think about this. Sleeping with someone you work with. It sucks. You're really, at this point, it doesn't matter what I do. And actually, I wanted to tell Neil this myself, but Harry Valentine, the new program director of WIOD, went ahead and told Neil. It's a bizarre situation. It's the kind of thing where, people look at you funny. They look at you like, well, gee, what does this mean? If you're sleeping with somebody that you work with, can I trust one person with what I tell the other person? Did I get the job just because I'm sleeping with Walter Sabo, the consultant? No, I didn't. But it doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter. Because no one is going to believe me. In Dade, 622-WIOD. In Broward, 767-WIOD. If you're listening somewhere else in the universe, 888-474-WIOD. And for Mobile One and AT&T wireless customers, it's pound IOD. I've actually, I swear to God, I've never dated anybody I worked with before. The old thing, you don't get your meat where you get your bread. I never did it before. And it's the kind of thing where I knew I was coming into this. I thought I'm gonna get in trouble. No matter what happens, I'm screwed. I've always kind of had that fantasy of doing it on the boss's desk, but I've never done that either. Let's see if I can get this phone to work. Steve in Miami, you're on WIOD.
Yeah, you're a breath of fresh air.
Oh, bless your heart. The check's in the mail.
Do you think Neil's show is better with the bird or without?
I think Neil is amazing. Thanks for calling WIOD. I think he's amazing. Have you ever dated anybody that you work with? It's, how do I hang the phone up? This is all very exciting. There we go. Hey, live and learn. I've never before, I have to think about this. Never before have I dated anyone that I worked with. I always tried to go outside of whatever industry I was in. I've been in radio for a while, but I've worked in a lot of different businesses, and I tried to stay away from sleeping with someone that I have to see in the office the next day. Because it's kind of weird, and it's weird if people know that you're dating or that you're sleeping with someone that they also know. It's like, I'm looking across at Steve, and I'm thinking, because then suddenly, no matter what happens, people start to picture you naked. They picture you naked but they do. They start to picture you naked with the person that's your beloved. They suddenly, nobody, at least I feel this is the case, it may or may not be, but I think that people start to look at you, I want to say as a sexual being, but that sounds so highfalutin, and it's BS. But people start to look at you and they start to think, God, that's who she's with, that's who he's with. It's weird when it's out. A lot of times, when you date somebody or when you're sleeping with somebody you work with, you try to keep it a really big secret, and then but invariably you get busted. no matter what happens, invariably you will get caught. You can keep it secret for a while. If you're sleeping with the boss or if you're sleeping with one of your coworkers, you can get away with it for a little while. But eventually, you will get busted. I wonder if you can get away with it. I'm one of those people, and especially in radio, and especially here, I'm sitting here taking all my rings off. I wonder what that means. I figure that it's gonna come out eventually, so I might as well do it myself. I will out myself. But I think I've been really fortunate so far. I've been here how many minutes? 5 minutes so far. I'm doing fine. In Broward, 767-WIOD. In Dade, 622-WIOD. That's 9463. And toll-free, you don't care about that. Pound WIOD on a mobile. Sleeping with your coworker. Part of it, I think, is that, the way that the world is today, where the hell else do you go to meet people? I'm not going to meet somebody in a bar. I don't want to meet some drunk guy. And I worked as a bouncer in a bar for 2 years. And, yeah, and I'm a little thing. Since you can't see me, I'm a little thing. I'm like 5'7", I weigh 110, I'm small. But I worked as a bouncer. It was great. It was assertiveness training. It was one of the coolest jobs that I ever had. But, and you got to see people walking into the bar, you got to see people walking out of the bar, but I never dated anyone I met at the bar. I don't go to church, so I'm not going to date anyone I meet at church. And where else do you meet people? So I met somebody at work. I met him at work at a radio station in Houston, Texas. I followed him around the country a little bit, and now it's his turn to follow me here. And it's the kind of thing where the hell else am I going to go? I met somebody, I like him. We happen to work in the same business. Now we happen to work for the same company. And I'm thinking, I'm totally screwed. I'm screwed. I'm screwed from day one. I'm screwed, and so I wanted to say it. I'm sleeping with somebody I work with. I know that I'm not the only person who's ever done this. And I kind of like it. Dean in Country Walk, you're on WIOD.
Hello, Karen.
Hi, Dean.
Hi. You reminded me of a situation. I have a very close friend. I hope she's not listening.
That's all right. She doesn't know it's you.
Right. Well, no, she might. But anyway, we made love with each other once. It was a situation where we were out partying all night, and I ended up sleeping at her house in her room. And
do you work with her?
No, I don't work with her, but we're like best friends.
Right.
We've been best friends for years and years and years, and she calls me all the time, and we, give each other advice, and it just felt kind of weird afterward for a little while there.
It's weird. And then you look at her and you think about being in bed with her. I mean, even if you're never going to do it again, you think about what it was like when you were in bed with her.
Yeah, and I'm probably very fortunate because we're still just like that. We're still the same kind of friends, but every now and then we'll make a little stab at each other about that night.
Right.
And, other people don't know about it, and we haven't told anyone.
You don't think anybody knows?
Well, maybe now, because...
All of your friends are listening, Dean. They're talking about you.
A lot of my friends do listen to the talk radio because I turned them on to it. And, you just reminded me. But welcome to Miami, I guess.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, I got here yesterday. Nothing like, a lot of time to get to know the market before you go on the air.
Right. Did you move here from somewhere else? Or?
I'm in the process of moving here from New York.
Right, great.
Yeah, and then I'm going to move him down with me. That should be a joy, especially for everybody at the station.
Right. And this isn't your first time on radio?
No, it's not. Does it sound like it? Is it that bad?
No, it doesn't. Sounds great.
Bless your heart. Thanks for calling WIOD. See, how do you do this? I'm trying to figure out how to hang up. It's like, all right, I'm getting used to this. It's all very bizarre. Andy in Fort Lauderdale, you're on WIOD.
Hey, Karen, what's up?
Hey, Andy, what's up with you?
Listen, you don't get your meat and potatoes on the same aisle.
I know. But, what am I supposed to do? It's like I was dating him already. I mean, I was sleeping with him before I got to the radio station. So am I supposed to say, no, I'm not going to take the job because I happen to be sleeping with somebody who also works there?
Well, that's a tricky question.
See? Have you ever slept with anyone you worked with?
Yeah, and it's no good. I mean, it's not worth it.
Did everyone find out?
They know.
See, the real problem is that now I can't break up with them. Because, like, if you have somebody who you're sleeping with who doesn't work where you work, then you can break up with them and you can talk about it afterwards and it's fine because not everybody knows them.
Yeah, it's just, you got to be careful, you know.
So I'm screwed.
No.
No?
You're not screwed. You work it out. You got a head on your shoulders, you know.
Andy, thanks for the advice. Thanks for calling WIOD. In Broward, 767-WIOD. In Dade, it's 622-WIOD. Sleeping with people you work with. I'm doing it. Well, I'm not doing it right now, actually, because, he's elsewhere and I'm here. But soon I'll be doing it. And I've done it before at a radio station. But outside of this relationship, I've never done it. And I know you're not supposed to get your meat and your potatoes on the same aisle. I always heard that it was your bread where you get your meat, or your meat where you get your bread. Yeah, I got it backwards. But I don't know. I met the guy. I liked him. We worked together. I mean, I could give you the thing is, I met him at a radio station in Houston, and I had a huge crush on him for a really long time, which is really bizarre because he's like not really the type of guy that I normally go for. And I had a crush on him for a long time, and I thought, no, I can't do anything about this because I'm working with this guy, and I don't want to get involved with someone that I work with. And I don't want to sleep with someone that I work with, and then I don't want anyone to find out, and it's a big secret. And ultimately, I don't know, I asked him to go do something one weekend. Yes, I asked him out. He would want you to know this. Because he says now that he didn't ask me out because since we worked together, he was afraid that if he asked me out, it would be some wacky sexual harassment thing. So I asked him out. And we went to like a street fair or something. And things sort of progressed from there. And we told, now see, because it's weird, it was weird at that particular station, we told the general manager of the radio station, like shortly after we started dating, it's like being a kid again. It's like you have to get your parents' permission. Gee, we think you ought to know that we have this going on. It's weird to sleep with someone you work with. People at work look at you differently. They think about you differently. And I know that I'm not the only person that's ever done it, but I may be the only person that's ever come out about it. In Broward, 767-WIOD, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, except that it's hard for a lot of other people to deal with. People look at you funny because then they start to picture you in bed. It's like when you first realize that your parents have sex. You start to think of, oh God, it's an awful picture. It's really disgusting. It's like picturing people that you know doing it. And it's weird if you work together. I'm screwed. I'm just screwed. I need help. Obviously, I need a lot of help. But I'm not the only person that's ever done it. And it'll be fine. I keep telling myself over and over and over, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And Dade, 622-WIOD. Have you ever slept with anybody? You know what? Oh my God, I just remembered this. I had an affair with a guy I worked at. I had an affair with a guy that I worked at a television station about 100 years ago. And it was one of those things where you go to a party and it gets to be really late and you kind of like each other and you kind of flirt with each other. But it was just an affair. It was like one of those things that happened and then it was never going to happen again. It was done with. It was over. Forget it. But that's, then you have to deal with going to work the next day and looking at one another and thinking, ew, I saw this person naked. And it's not necessarily the most attractive image I can come up with. It's WIOD. I'm Karen Kay.
610 WIOD.
Yo.
Here's a look at what's happening in South Florida. You can join Brooke Daniels this Saturday from noon to 2 at the new Let's Talk Cellular and Wireless at Beach Place in Fort Lauderdale. The Hooters girls are going to be there with free wings, plus you can register to win a trip for two to the Busheri Beach Resort, the only on-the-beach all-inclusive resort in Aruba, with airfare from ALM Antillean Airlines. And you can also enter to win a trip for two to the Princess Resort and Casino on Grand Bahama Island. No purchase necessary. That's Brooke Daniels Saturday from noon to 2 at the Let's Talk Cellular and Wireless at Beach Place in Fort Lauderdale. WIOD personalities are sometimes compensated for commercial endorsements and personal appearances. And that's a look at what's happening in South Florida.
WIOD, I'm Karen Kay. I thought you were going to give me a music bed or something. Yeah, I want one. Everybody else gets music. I'm feeling left out. I'm Karen Kay. It's WIOD in Dade, 305-622-WIOD. Broward, 767-WIOD. Toll free, if you're listening somewhere very far away, 888-474-WIOD. And for Mobile One and AT&T wireless customers, it's pound IOD. Sleeping with somebody that you work with, having sex, not on the job. I want to know if anybody's ever done it at work. I've had this fantasy. I've never done it. I've never done it. I want to say I'm not that kind of girl, but that's not really true. I never got around to it. But I always thought it would be really cool to have sex on the boss's desk. It's one of those things where then you know that you go to work the next day and for some reason the power that the boss's office tends to have power attached to it. When you get called to the boss's office, you know you're in trouble or it's something bad. Somehow it would take that away. It would be good to have sex in the boss's office, but I've never done it. I do, however, sleep with somebody that I work with, and it's the kind of thing where everybody knows. Now everybody knows because I said it. But every place it's only happened, I guess, I've worked with him at one other radio station, and everybody knew there too. But I know that I'm not the only person with this boss's desk fantasy, and I want to know if anybody's actually done it. Because I've always thought it would be really cool. You go to the boss the next day, and it just, for some reason, that power that your superior has over you is diminished. Because you know what you were doing on that person's desk the night before or the afternoon before. And especially working at a radio station, and especially with, working 9 to midnight. I'm here when there's nobody else here, so I could. Well, Steve would know, but he wouldn't tell anybody. But I wouldn't do it. I don't think I would do it. I'm too afraid that I'd get caught. I don't have those those exhibitionist tendencies. I don't have the courage. The strangest place, well, that's another show. We could talk about the strangest place you've ever done it. But then I'd have to give it up. I'll do that later. That's another day. Right now, talking about dating at work. People that you've slept with that you work with and you have to deal with on a, the weird part about it for me is that I've got to deal with them on a day-to-day basis, A, because I live with him, and B, now because we're going to work together. And it's weird to have that kind of a relationship with somebody at home, and then at work it's completely different because, of course I wear the pants in the family. That's not true. Lee, you're on a mobile. You're on WIOD. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah, that's good. I was doing yard work with one of my buddies.
Yeah.
And he's about, 5'2" in height.
Yeah.
And he had a pretty good-looking wife. And I stayed night with him one time.
Lee.
And, oh, man.
Did you?
Yeah.
You slept with his wife?
Yeah.
You slept with your boss's wife?
Yeah, and he caught us.
No.
Oh, man.
Oh, cool.
So I got fired.
Oh, that sucks.
You believe that?
But let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
Oh, yeah. Man, she was...
Would you do it again?
Oh, yeah, man. She's 38 years old. I'm only 22.
Oh, for you, this was a very big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure, older woman, show you the ropes. She knows, secret. She does her Kegel exercises. She knows secret things yeah.
Oh, man, she taught me things I never thought I could.
Something for you to look forward to in the future, too, Lee. Thanks for calling WIOD. In Broward, 954-767-WIOD. Sleeping with somebody that you work with. Have you done it, or am I the only one? I'm not the only one. Now, how come I can't get this to hang up? I'm hitting the off button. There we go. In Miami, it's Tony. Hi, you're on WIOD.
Welcome, Karen.
Thank you, Tony.
Hey. About you sleep with somebody on the same job as you have, don't sweat it. Don't worry. It happens all the time, every day.
I know it does, but, it doesn't happen. I mean, the thing is that because radio is a public forum, not only does everyone here at the radio station know about it, but soon everyone in Miami will know about it.
Who cares?
Well, you're right.
There are only two rules about sleeping on the job.
Oh, okay. You mean sleeping with somebody on the job? Sleeping on the job would be really problematic in this particular job.
That means you work for the government. rule number 1, sleep with somebody who can get you ahead in the job.
Yeah.
Or rule number 2, if you're the boss, sleep with somebody who, if they cause any problems, you can get rid of them. You see, I'm a boss.
Okay.
Okay? So I've done the desk thing.
Really?
Yes.
You've done it on your desk?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so wait, I want to know about this. You're the boss. So
Right.
do you clear everything off the desk, or do you...
Yeah, you clear most of the stuff off. Always remember to put your personal computer off on another table.
That would be helpful, right?
Other than that, just sweep everything right off. Of course, you make sure there's nothing important on there before you call the woman in.
You call the woman into your... Oh, you sound like you're sitting behind your desk just inviting, come, darling, come into my desk, have sex with me on it.
It has happened.
Really?
Yes.
What? Now, don't tell me, but what kind of business are you in?
Well, I'm an exporter.
You're an exporter?
Yes.
Bizarre. So you have a lot of employees that you have sex with, or you have sex with people who are not your employees? I mean, are these just dates, or are they people you work with?
It's been with people I've worked with a few times. And
really?
Dates, yes.
Your subordinates?
Yes.
Wow, that's that whole secretary sleeping her way to the top thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, at least they think they are.
Well, see, that's exactly it. It actually doesn't make a damn bit of difference.
No.
Because if you don't think they're talented in exporting, you're not going to allow them to advance.
My business is my business. I don't care how good the sex is. You ain't going to work for me if you ain't going to make money.
Yeah, see, exactly. And that's the thing that I'm fighting here, though, is that because, the guy that I sleep with is a consultant for the radio station, people figure that he can make a difference in whether or not I get hired. And God, please, somebody believe me, he doesn't. It's lost me so many jobs that I was perfectly qualified for.
And guess what? Even if he can help you, hey, so much for you. They're just jealous anyway.
Oh, Tony, you're my hero. Thanks for calling WIOD. I like that. Maybe that is it. Maybe people are just jealous. But, I swear to you, I swear on a stack of Bibles or whatever the hell you consider holy. In my case, what would that be? Chocolate. I swear on a stack of chocolate that this particular person that I have a relationship with has never helped me get a job, and I swear to you he hasn't, and has hurt me more often than not because people don't want to hire the consultant's girlfriend. It's like, oh, well, she's sleeping with the consultant. We better not hire her because she could... What could I do? What could I do? I could report back. That's what it is, isn't it? It's because you think I'm going to report back. Well, I'm not. Because, I have the advantage of, I can make pillow talk with the guy, but believe me, the pillow talk is not about WIOD. The pillow talk is not about work. It can't be. Otherwise, there's no relationship. Initially, sure, maybe. But not, I've been with him 5 years. Give me a break. We're done with that stuff. I want to hear from somebody else who had sex on the boss's desk, not the boss. Somebody who snuck into the boss's office and had sex on the desk, because I know it happens, and I love these stories because I'm too much of a wuss to do it myself. So I need to hear from people who've done it. If you're on a mobile, pound IOD. If you're in Broward, 767 WIOD. See, the real problem is that no matter what happens at this point, people believe that I got the job because of who I sleep with. I think that's why people who sleep together at work don't tell anyone. What the heck was that? Don't tell anyone. I had a girlfriend who had a boyfriend who she worked with, and there was this big secret. They went out of their way not to tell anybody because they were afraid that if someone found out, one or the other of them would be fired, because a lot of companies have really wacky laws or rules, I guess they call them if you're a company, where you can't sleep with somebody that you work with. And frankly, in today's society where everybody works, I don't see how it's any problem. I don't see it as a problem. Now, maybe I live in Karen's little utopia where people are fair and people handle things the right way and everybody does what's right. But at least in Karen's little utopia, you ought to be able to sleep with anyone that you're working with and not have it affect your relationship with everyone else. But it doesn't. It doesn't. People view you differently. They think about you differently. They start to wonder about you. They picture you naked. They picture you naked with the person that you work with, which, yes, they do. Yes, they do. You don't think so? Steve's shaking his head no. They do. I know I would. When maybe I'm just perverted. When I meet two people, if I know one of them through work and I meet someone else and I discover that the two of them sleep together, I kind of try to make it match up in my head. Wow, you're sleeping with that. That's what you go home to. And I figure people probably do the same thing with me. But I figure if you want to date someone you work with, you ought to be able to. It's just, sleeping with the boss, sleeping on the boss's desk. That's the one. I've never done it. One of these days. Bruce, hi. You're on WIOD.
How you?
Bruce.
Hello.
Yo, babe.
Hey.
Hey.
Remind me, at 38 years old, I'm not out to impress anybody, but at age 19, I used to manage a phone room.
Okay.
Saturday morning, I was let in. The boss didn't like to come in on Saturday, so he'd come in, he'd open up, let me get the crew working. About 3 o'clock, he's supposed to come by and lock the place up.
Right.
So at 3 o'clock, he's not there. 3:30, he's not there. Finally, I call the house, and his wife is there, and she says, oh, gosh, he's probably out getting drunk somewhere. So to make a long story short, he comes and locks up, and I wound up having the boss's wife on the boss's desk.
Really? At 19 years old.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool, too, when she's 42.
Oh, you bet. That's a very stud muffin-y kind of thing. It's you feel great, and she feels great because, she's getting it. She's annoyed with her husband, and there you are, this young, handsome, firm.
And, of course, you're walking on the clouds for at least 6 months saying that you had a 40-year-old woman, so.
Very.
But just listen and thought I'd bring that one up because I haven't brought that up in 20 years.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Take it easy.
Bye. Thanks for calling WIOD. In Broward, 767-WIOD. In Dade, 622-WIOD. Sleeping with the boss's wife. Now, that is something, well, obviously, I guess, since I'm not gay, that's something I've never done. But I don't even think I have to think about this, if I've ever had a crush on, because I've had female bosses, but they all had sort of scary, yucky husbands, nobody that I would want to have an affair with. But I've thought more than once, and I've been in situations because I've worked in television and in radio for a really long time, and especially if you ever work a weekend or if you work a late night shift, there's nobody around. And you certainly have the opportunity to do it on the boss's desk. And I just, I haven't gotten around to it. It's on my list of things to do someday. But I don't think I will because I'm too much of a wuss. I'm scared to, I'm not one of, I can't do it when I'm somewhere else. I'm afraid I'm going to get caught. What? Turn your mic on. I can't hear what you're saying.
But that's part of the thrill.
I know, but I'm scared to death I'm going to get caught. It is not a turn on to me. Well, I mean, it is, but it's not one that I actually want to live through. It's better for me. It's better as a fantasy. It's better as a fantasy.
So nothing outdoors, huh?
Oh God, I want to do it on a beach one day, but no, I've never done it on a beach. I did it in a pool once, so that was outdoors, and I did it in a lake once. I did it in a lake, like in an inner tube. We were floating in an inner tube. It was yeah. Okay, I'm getting a big thumbs up now. Creative, part of it is when you're young, you have to be creative to have sex because you don't, because you don't have your own apartment. I was like 18 years old, and I needed a place, and I was house sitting for the neighbors, and the neighbors were out of town, and there was the pool, and we went after it. What can I tell you? But the boss's desk is an ultimate goal. So what I did instead is I, picked up the consultant and decided to be his girlfriend. So it was the closest I could get. It's actually not like sleeping with your boss, even though people think it is. He's not my boss. He's not my boss. He's not my boss. He's not my boss. He's not your boss. He's not anybody here's boss. But people view it that way. And people assume that because I sleep with the person who consults this radio station, and I'm going to get yelled at because I'm talking about this radio station. I'm going to get yelled at home if he's listening. God, I hope he isn't. Now he never listens to the first show. But I swear to you, I did not get this job because I didn't get the job because of the boyfriend. It's WIOD.
610 WIOD.
Cool music, I feel better. WIOD, hi, I'm Karen Kay. I have a confession to make. I'm sleeping with the guy who consults the radio station. Have you ever slept with anybody you worked with? It sucks. It sucks. It just sucks. It sucks because Either you're trying to hide it all the time and you spend all of your energy when you're together at work trying not to look at one another and once you get over that sort of rosy blush period, I remember the rosy blush period well because we were working together and it was kind of fun and exciting, and for about, I don't know, for all of, I think, 2 weeks, nobody knew, and then pretty much after that. We got busted kissing in a car once, we were going to tell everybody anyway, but we did get busted kissing in a car because if you work together, I think if you want to work together and sleep with somebody that you're working with, you could probably get away with it if you really work very hard at it. But who wants to spend that kind of energy? And why is there some terrible stigma attached with sleeping with somebody you work with? I honestly don't understand. I really don't. The only time it's a problem, the real problem is, well, if you're sleeping with your boss, you're screwed. And anyone finds out you're screwed because they assume that the only reason that you have your job is because you're sleeping with your boss. Now, the guy that I'm sleeping with here at this radio station is not my boss. He's a consultant. He's far away. Ultimately, he will move down here, I hope, since I live here now. But, it doesn't... It shouldn't affect anything, but it will. It will. It's something for everyone to talk about. In Dade, 622-WIOD. Sleeping with somebody you work with. In Broward, 767-WIOD. Dating a coworker. I have like I was saying before, one of my best girlfriends was dating a guy that she worked with, and they went through, the gyrations they went through to keep anyone from finding out. Then the problem becomes if the two of you are out having dinner and someone sees you, then what do you say? Oh, well, we were discussing work. Nobody's going to buy that. You can just tell when you look at a couple, if you know anything about body language, if you know anything about people, if you see the two of them together, you can see if there's something more going on than just a business lunch. And even after, especially after a couple is together for a long time, like I've been with this guy for 5 years now. Has it been 5 years? Wow. I've been with this guy for 5 years now, and, we're way past the goo-goo stage. We don't stare in one another's eyes and whisper sweet nothings anymore. But, man, I'm screwed. I'm screwed. I'm just screwed. Not screwing, screwed. Because no matter what happens, people, at least the people in the industry, in the industry that I'm in, look at me differently because of who I sleep with. And that's unfair and it sucks. And I've lost 3 jobs, because of who I choose to sleep with. And that's crap. It's not fair. It's wrong. It's just plain wrong. If I wasn't, if I couldn't do the job, fine. But I had someone say to me, and at the time I thought, gee, I wonder if I could come up with some wacky lawsuit. But I had somebody say to me, gee, we'd really like to hire you because we think you're right for this particular job. But with your relationship with this guy, I don't know, we can't do it. We can't do it. And I'm thinking, what? Why? What's going to happen? What is going to happen? What is the worst thing that could happen? I don't even know. But see, the problem is, you don't know me. I'm not going to, please, I'm not going to run home and tell the boyfriend everything that happened at work today, in large part because he would yell at me. I probably would tell him, but he refuses to listen. I think one of the things that's tricky about dating somebody that you work with or sleeping with someone you work with, having sex with somebody that you work with, is that it is hard to not spend all of your time talking about work. Because that's sort of that's one of the things, like in a normal relationship where two people have different jobs, they can come home and say, gee, this is what happened to me at work today, and the other person can say, well, this is what happened to me. But unfortunately, I don't have that luxury, so we have to come up with other stuff to talk about, because if I talk about what's happening at work with the boyfriend who also consults this radio station, yes, that's right, Walter Sabo, that's his name, he's my boyfriend. I've never said it on the radio before. It's so freeing. It's just so incredibly freeing. I feel moist. Broward, 767-WIOD. Dade, 622-WIOD. If you're on a mobile, pound IOD. That's for Mobile One and AT&T Wireless customers. Am I supposed to say that every time, Mobile One and AT&T Wireless? Most of the time. Okay. I'm learning the ropes. I don't know. Have you ever slept with anyone you worked with? Am I the only one? You know what it is? I'm the only one who's willing to admit it. Because if you're doing it now, you're afraid someone else from work is listening and someone will bust you. You can use a pseudonym if you want to tell me about it, and if you don't want to tell me about it, fine, sit there and be voyeuristic in your tendencies. See, the problem is, we made out in an office once, like when we were first going out, and other than that, we've never. It doesn't. I'm trying so hard to explain this. I have no idea why I'm trying so hard to explain it. There's nothing wrong with dating somebody that you work with. I do. I don't see why it's such a big deal. I don't see why people have such a problem with it. And I think it's completely unfair that that there have been jobs that I've been kept from because of it. It's just stupid. And I'm not the only one. And even if I was the only one, there still wouldn't be anything wrong with it. I've never done it in the office. I've never done it on anybody's desk. Okay, granted, I've had fantasies of doing it on the boss's desk, but I haven't, and I won't, because I'm not that kind of girl. Because I'm a wuss. And I'm afraid I'll get caught. If you've ever done it with your boss, or just somebody that you work with, you know, it's tricky because you don't want anyone to know, and then, see, the problem is now if I break up with him, I'm really screwed. If we ever break up, it's going to be hell. David in Fort Lauderdale, you're on WIOD.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, David.
Hey, I love your show.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah, it's a breath of fresh air, like they always say.
Wow, no, they don't always say that. Thank you.
Okay. Well, anyway, I got a story for you. I'm gay.
Okay.
I slept with my boss.
Yeah.
Which was a male.
Okay.
I lost my job over it.
Now
because I had sexual harassment over it. Because he was married.
Right.
And he insisted that me and him should be together.
Right.
And I kind of like try to break off this, you know, it happened just a couple times, you know, and I realized I didn't. It's not right, you know.
Well, wait a minute. Why was it not right? Because he was married?
Yeah, because he was married.
Or because he was your boss?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's wrong that he was your boss. If he was married, there's that problem. Not the fact that he was married to a woman necessarily, but the fact that he has another relationship going on at the same time that he's sleeping with you could get tricky for you.
Right.
That would be the call waiting.
Yeah, let him go by.
Okay,
anyway,
good answer.
But I just felt bad about that, and I had a roommate at the same time that was sleeping with his wife, which was a female. So
that's cool.
All this stuff was going on at one time, and I lost my job over this.
That's not cool. Why did you lose your job? I still don't understand that. Did he fire you?
Yeah, I ended up getting fired.
Because why? Because you slept with him?
No, because I wouldn't go back to bed with him.
Oh, because you said no.
I said no. I said this is not right. So I ended up losing my job.
Sounds like you do have a sexual harassment suit.
Yeah, I tried it, and you know, in the state of Florida, for a man on a man, there is no such thing as a sexual harassment suit.
You're kidding.
No,
you're kidding.
Nope.
That's a pile of crap. Oh my God.
I thought it was a pile of crap too.
It's a pile. It's a pile.
You know, because I felt.
I mean, you're kidding. You mean if some guy made a pass at you, or if some guy if my boss makes a pass at my producer Steve doesn't have a case?
No, he doesn't have a case.
Man, this place is bass-ackwards. Thanks for calling WIOD. In Broward, 767-WIOD. In Dade, 622-WIOD. Sleeping with somebody that you work with. I do it! I'm coming out on the air. Okay, so the person I sleep with is a guy. I'm not, coming out. Joe, hi, you're on WIOD.
Hi, Karen. How are you this evening?
Great.
Good. Listen, you're hit on a topic that I could relate to in a big way. I was president of a pharmaceutical company 2 years ago after generating very good results for a company over a 6-year period. And I had a relationship with a lady, actually, it was a direct report, director of marketing. We're both single people and, very professional, at least we think, in the work environment. And the boss, who had a lot of the president of the company worldwide, had great affection for this girl I was dating.
Right.
He told me on a couple occasions that if I ever see you out dating, your career's over. And at one point I said, well, you know, you can give me guidance and direction in a lot of areas, but you're never going to dictate my personal life.
Yeah, see, that's just crap. It's like the two of us are single people. Why is it not okay for us to date?
Well, wait, here it is. 2 weeks later, I was fired, and I signed a non-compete. They paid me money because, again, I generated good results for the company. I had a lot of technology that I brought to the company. And in the non-compete, they never wanted to have me talk with this lady again that I work with.
Uh-huh.
And in fact, she's still angry with me a little bit today. We're still together, but I said that, you know, you're not going to dictate my personal life. And my lawyers said that if you have her name not excluded in the agreement, you'll break your agreement if you ever see her again. So I said, look, I'll sign the agreement, the severance, whatever, but I'm not going to have her name mentioned in the agreement. And
that's
then
outrageous.
Then 2 weeks later, she was fired.
See, this is when it becomes a problem. It's like you're two single adults, and you're not allowed to date the person. I'm glad you called. Thanks for calling WIOD. It's stupid. You ought to be able to sleep with whoever the hell you want, no matter whether you work with them or not. It's WIOD.
610 WIOD. And weekends come and weekends go. Talent comes and talent goes. But like those old drinking buddies from college, when IOD comes, we stay all weekend long. With Jim Reilly, Saturday and Sunday morning. Toys for Boys, Fight Me, Get Lost, the Miami Heat, NBA, the best of IOD, and more of the same on Sunday. So it comes, it goes, it stays. With weekends on 610 WIOD.
WIOD. Hi, I'm Karen Kay. And I'll say it one more time, just in case you haven't heard it. It's like I have to screw up my courage every time I say it. It's so funny. I'm sleeping with the guy who consults this radio station. You may have heard our midday guy, Neil, talking about him in the afternoon. I'm just letting you know I'm doing it. Just so that, full disclosure, first, right off the bat, I wanted to be sure that this was the first thing that I talked about because it's going to come out eventually, and it's the kind of thing that people think is a big deal and isn't. People make a big deal about it, and it's not. Therefore, I am making a deal about it, and I know that I'm not the only person to ever sleep with somebody I work with. But I have to tell you, I'm screwed. It's the kind of thing where I'm screwed from the get-go. I'm screwed. Because no one, but it's the truth. Isn't it the truth? I'm right about this. No one will believe that I got this job because I can do this. So whether I suck or not doesn't even matter. I'm not playing on a level playing field. I'm not. It's not fair. I can't tell you how mad it makes me because I've been screwed out of more jobs because of who I'm screwing than is fair. And in Karen's little utopia, in my little world, things are supposed to be fair. It Dade, 622-WIOD, Broward, 767-WIOD. If you're in a car or on a mobile, pound IOD. Sleeping with the boss, sleeping with somebody that you work with. I'm doing it now. I'm in that position now. And in my case, it's hurt me. And it's the kind of, I keep saying it's the kind of thing. I've been screwed out of 3 jobs because of this. 3. And, the deal with this is that Harry Valentine, the program director, had the courage to say, we're just going to do it. We're going to do it, and we'll just see what happens. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, please let it be okay. Please let it be okay. And it really doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Because I'm screwed. Because I sleep with somebody who also works with this radio station. That's what it is. He works with this radio station. He doesn't even work at this radio station. It's not somebody who's here every day. It's not like I work in an accounting office and I'm a secretary and he's a full-fledged accountant. Although that happens all the time. And I honestly don't understand why in 1997 people can't just date whoever the hell they want to date, whether they work together or not. Excuse me, we spend most of our lives at work. We should be able to employee sign that say you may not date anyone that works here. Now think about this for a moment. You spend 8 hours a day with somebody every day. You see them on good days, you see them on bad days. You might develop a fondness for somebody that you work with. You could decide, wow, I'm really crazy about this person. And then you're supposed to say, no, we work together. I'm not going to go out with him or her. What kind of crap is that? I was at a situation where I worked at a radio station in Houston. I met this guy. I dated every guy that there was available in Houston. I didn't find anyone that I particularly liked. In came this wacky radio consultant. I met him. I liked him. We started going out. That was 5 years ago. So I've been dating this guy for 5 years, and it's unfair that you can't date someone you work with and not have people judge you on your merits. It's like the secretary. You're cracking up over there. It's like the secretary who sleeps with her boss and gets a promotion, and then everyone says, well, the only reason she got the promotion is because she was sleeping with her boss. I'm not saying that's never true. I'm just saying it's not always true. It's entirely possible that the secretary got the promotion because she knew what she was doing. Now, it could have been because she knew what she was doing when she was doing... Trying to figure out I'm trying to come up with a creative way to say sex, and I'm drawing a blank here. In Broward, 767 WIOD. But I think that if you, again, in Karen's utopia, you ought to be able to sleep with who you want to sleep with, whether you work together or not. It shouldn't make a difference, and it sucks that it does. I've had fantasies about sleeping on about having sex on the boss's desk. I've never done that. I don't expect I'll be starting anytime soon. Especially now. It's like everybody knows. I'm not even going to be able to talk to him in the hallway. People go, what?
And the boss keeps his door locked.
Here? Oh, man. It's never going to happen.
We could pick it.
Okay.
Or you could pick it, excuse me.
I could pick it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, me and Steve, that's it. After the show, you and... I know that I'm not the only person that's ever had sex with somebody I worked with. But I'm trying to see the other side, which I shouldn't do. But I guess I can see how it could be awkward for everybody else, but then you're just being stupid if it makes you feel uncomfortable, as far as I'm concerned. And what people have to understand is that just because I sleep with the guy does not mean I am a direct line to him at all times, and doesn't mean that everything that somebody says to me is going to be said to him. Have you ever slept with anybody you worked with? I mean, what? If you're like the produce manager at a grocery store and you start sleeping with a checker, why is that a big deal? But for some reason it is a big deal. It's like they threaten to fire you. You could lose your job. That's just, to me, that's bogus. Don in Miami, you're on WIOD.
Oh, how so soon? Yes, you're screwing your way into a tangled web here. Before high noon tomorrow.
Oh, I know.
You'll be gone.
I know.
Paxton will work your two of you over real good.
Oh, they know about that, actually. That's it? Oh, you big wussy. Oh, you pussy. Thanks for calling WIOD. Broward 767 WIOD. Dade 622 WIOD. Come and get me. That's the best you can do? Give me a break. Yes, I'm sleeping with somebody that I work with. I'm not the only person who's ever done it. I'm having sex with a coworker. So why is that such a big deal? Why does that make people so uncomfortable? It happens all the time. I have 3 best friends. All 3 of them have had sex with somebody that they worked with. Now, maybe that's just my friends. Maybe I just have weird friends. On a mobile, pound IOD, that's for Mobile One and AT&T wireless customers. But I don't think that I just have weird friends. I think that's normal. I think because of the amount of time that we all spend at work, those are the people that we meet. You know, unless you go out to bars, and frankly, I've never met anyone all that satisfying in a bar. Just for me, I mean, I've met people in bars, but nobody that I'd want to hang on to for any length of time. So I met somebody. I happened to work with him. We started a relationship, and now, 5 years later, it's some big problem that I'm sleeping with somebody I work with. Why? And it's not fair. It's not fair. What am I supposed to do? Dump him so that I can continue to work in radio? Is that supposed to be my trade-off? Is that what other people in other businesses do? They're dating somebody, so they say, okay, I'm going to quit my job so that I can keep dating this person. That's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing to ask for. It's a ridiculous thing to ask anybody. This is WIOD.
The password is 610 WIOD, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
610 WIOD presents Karen K. To join the show, call 622-WIOD in Dade, 767-WIOD in Broward. Mobile One and AT&T wireless customers can call toll-free at #IOD. And across North America, it's toll-free at 1-888-474-WIOD. And now, Karen K.
WIOD, I'm Karen K. I'm shopping today. I'm at Albertsons. So cool to go to a place with actual big stores. I get very excited in large grocery stores because I spent the past 3 years living in New York City, which sucks. And I hate Manhattan. I'm sorry. I hate it. I know a lot of people love it. I hate it. I can't stand it. I spent 3 years trying to get out of New York City. I'm so happy to be somewhere else. So I'm in Albertsons, and I'm standing behind this couple, this Hispanic couple and their child. And I'm in the 10 items or less cash-only lane. This is important. I'm in the 10 items or less cash-only lane. Prominently displayed, big sign. These people have 15 items, maybe 15 items. I'd say 15 things. And I'm standing there and I'm grumbling because they have 15 things. It's annoying, but it's the 10 items or less, but it's 15. It's really annoying, but they're already there, and so I'll just deal with it. So I'm standing there grumbling. And it's this annoying couple, and she's annoying, and he's annoying, and they've got this daughter who's jumping up and down and screaming, Mommy, I want this, and Mommy, I want that, and I can't do the accent, so I won't even try. And Mommy. And then the woman decides at the last minute that she's going to grab, I'm sure she's fat. She can't figure out why she's fat. She reaches over and she grabs like 6 bags of Fritos. So now we're up to, 21 items in the 10 items or less lane. And the cashier looks at me and says, ma'am, this is a cash-only lane. And I'm like, I know it's a cash-only lane. That's why I'm standing here. I have 2 items. I have my little cereal and spoons. This is, I mean, I understand how this works. This is not a complicated concept for me. So I'm standing there. And they go through the whole process of ringing it up, and the husband and wife are standing there, and there's a couple behind me and another guy behind them, and the 4 of us are grumbling about stupid idiots who can't read or who don't speak English or whatever the hell it is. And then they get through the whole process, and the woman pulls out a credit card. Hello? Cash only, 10 items or less. Why? Shopping nightmares. Is it that they can't read? I don't understand I don't get it. I don't get it. This is one of the things that annoys me about shopping in general, about stupid idiots in grocery stores. It's like, hello, it's prominently displayed. It's for all of us to see. It even applies to you. And I'm such a wuss. I'm kind of grumbling about it. And I finally said, I wish I had the balls to say, can't you read? But I didn't. I just said, and I just kind of grumbled, and they knew I was unhappy, and I stared them down, but it was the best I could do. I hate people who go to the grocery store. It's like, I don't know, they think they're special. I've seen old people do it too. It's like because they're senior citizens, they deserve special treatment. What the hell is that about? I was at the post office the other day, and some woman cut to the front of the line. This is a woman who is perfectly capable of walking, and she's like, well, I need a little extra help. I can't stand in the line. And I said, bull! I actually fought for myself on that day. Not that it worked. The postal clerk took care of her. I'm like, what is it? People... It's a really simple concept. It's a line. You stand in the line. It says 10 items or less. You count the items in your basket. I'm anal about this. I mean, if I'm standing in the 10 items or less lane and I have 10 items and I see a pack of gum that I want, I won't get it. And I don't understand why the, you know, I kind of feel bad for the stupid clerks. I wonder what was this girl's name? It was like Rachel or something. And, you know, she's giving me this lecture. Okay, it was just a one-line lecture, but she said it with a nasty tone in her voice. You know, this is cash-only lane. I'm well aware that this is the cash-only lane. I have cash. I'm only buying 2 items. But these stupid idiots in front of me with their 21 items and their credit card, she doesn't say anything to them. She just took their money and she's like, have a nice day. And she was really nice to them. And I'm thinking, you stupid bitch. Why the hell are you being nice to these a-holes who... I can't get used to saying that on the radio. It's going to take me a while. So it's going to be a-hole for a while. I say ass, I say a-hole. That's how it's going to be for a while. But why the hell are you nice to these stupid jerks who apparently either can't count or can't read or both, and you're being nasty to me? I'm the one who's following the rules. Is that it? You get in trouble for following the rules at the grocery store? We reward people. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like this stupid couple and their stupid daughter. I hope they got hit by a car on the way home. They figure that it's okay for them to jump into the express lane. I don't know why. And it's so funny because after they were done, the husband stood there and he kind of, you know, it's a huge sign at Publix that says 10 items or less, cash only. It's not like you could miss it. And when the wife pulled out her credit card, I said, oh my God. And the cashier, to her credit, did not take the credit card. She said, you know, it's a cash only lane. And then the woman digs into her pocket and pulls out a $100 bill. And I'm thinking, you know, what kind of stupid jerks are these people? And then the husband is standing there, and he's kind of looking at the sign where it says 10 items or less, cash only. And he's looking at it with this really perplexed look. Like either he didn't understand that it applied to him, or it was news to him. I don't understand. Shopping in grocery stores is very simple. It should be very simple. If you have coupons, which I think should be abolished, by the way, but if you have coupons, you should have them out. You should have them ready to go. You should be prepared to give them to the clerk. You should have your money out. I don't understand what it is. People, it's like they get in the grocery store and they forget what they were doing there. They don't pay attention. They're incapable of reading the signs. In Broward, 767 WIOD, and Dade, 622 WIOD. It's like people get to the grocery store and they figure they deserve special treatment because they're too stupid to read. They don't bother to pull out their coupons. I love it. I'm standing behind some woman, and she's going, now wait a minute. I'm going to take, and this is, now mind you, this is not while we're standing in line waiting to get up to the front of the counter. This is when we're up to the counter and the clerk is whizzing all her stuff across that the scanner. And she's sitting there and she's going through the coupons. Let's see, Tide. No, don't got any Tide. And me, I'm in a hurry. I'm always in a hurry. I have something to do. I want to do it. I want to move on to the next event, especially something like grocery shopping, which to me is not fun. There are people who love to go to grocery stores and just hang out. And apparently, I always get behind these people when they're checking out at the grocery store line. But I got stuff to do. I have a life. I go to the grocery store to get what I need, and then I want to get out of the grocery store. But invariably, I am standing behind some idiot who, oh, wait, I'm in the grocery store? Now, let's see. What is it that I wanted to buy? And they're standing there. This is the checkout lane. We should have made these decisions already. Have your money out. Have your money ready. Be ready to go. And instead, it's like, I swear to God, it's like they're meditating. I have no idea what they're doing. There should be an express lane for people like me who want to get in and get out and just do what they want to do. On a mobile, it's pound IOD. Jason, hi, you're on WIOD.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
I can emphasize
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
All right. Go ahead. Yeah, I can now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You were in a bad cell or something.
All right. I'll call you back.
No, it's better now.
Okay. But I just think that, I can empathize with you, and I've been behind people in line and who don't follow the rules and everything like that. But, I think that you're just going to drive yourself crazy because there's always going to be people like that. And,
we should come up with a way to get rid of them or come up with some kind of a lane that is for people who know what they're going to do and want to get in and get out. I mean, I'm not kidding. And you're right. I am going to drive myself crazy because I'm standing there and I don't have blood pressure problems, but I feel my blood pressure rising. I feel myself getting annoyed. And I'm looking at this couple and I wanted to shoot them. It's a good thing I don't own a gun. I did. I wanted to string their little girl up. She was screaming and jumping up and down, which is, that's another show. It's parents who don't control their kids. But she's screaming and jumping up and down, and she was annoying, and her parents were annoying, and, they can't read or something. And if they can read, they figure they're way too important to follow the rules like the rest of us.
Right. But I usually just take a deep breath and count to 10, and then I'm done with it.
Well, Jason, I'll try it, but for some reason, I don't think that's going to work for me.
Okay.
But I'll give it a shot.
All right, good talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for calling WIOD. For some reason, I don't think I'm one of those who can take a deep breath and make it all okay. And, damn it, if you're going to the grocery store, you're going there to buy something. Buy it and get out of my way. Move on. Just do what you came to do. And why is it that I'm always in the slowest line? And I try not to do this because I know it never works. You should never jump from line to line because it will take you longer than if you just stayed in the line that you were in to begin with. It will. And every time I do it, I get screwed. But every once in a while, I'm behind, some woman who's apparently shopping for an entire South African nation. And that's fine because she's in the store and she's allowed to do that. But I'm standing behind her and I think, no, this is the bad line. I'm going to move to the express lane. And then I get behind these assholes. I feel much better. Bob, hi, you're on WIOD.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
I just want to know something.
Yeah.
How come you're on the air, you're a disc jockey, you obviously get on the air and you can tell them off. Why don't you tell them off to their face?
Because I swear to God, I am a pussy. It's the truth. It's the truth. I stand there and I'm like, and I can't do it. It's like when I'm face to face with somebody, I can't do it.
But you got to grow a pair. So the way people who do this are going to be taken back a couple of steps.
Do you think they will? Do you think they will? Part of it is that I'm afraid if I say something, they'll yell at me. And it's perfectly okay to yell at me on the radio, but if you yell at me in real life, I don't know, I could explode. I swear to you, it's the truth. I stand there and I go, Karen, you should speak up. You're right.
Speak up. Hey, stand up for what's right, but don't wait until they're up at the cash register. Tell them before they get there. You're on the wrong line. You're not supposed to be here.
You're right.
More people did that. Maybe you wouldn't have so many people who are pissed off.
Do you think so? For some reason, I figure if they don't pay attention to the sign, why are they going to pay attention to me? But you know what? You might be right. If I called them on it, maybe they would. I don't know. Do what?
If enough people called them on it, things might just change.
Yeah, well, you're right. There were more of us in line than there were of them. We could have beat them up. Bob, thanks for calling WIOD. In Broward, 767-WIOD. In Dade, 622-WIOD at 622-9463. I know that I should speak up. I know that I should, and I know when I'm standing behind those people in line at the grocery store, I should give them a piece of my mind, but I don't. I stand there and I go, I'm a big wussy. I don't want to get involved. Part of it is, frankly, I'm a little girl. I'm afraid they'll beat me up. Which is stupid. I'm sure nobody would, but I'm just afraid that if I get into a screaming match with somebody at the grocery store, even though I'm seething inside, I'm so angry. It's like, get the hell out of this line. What are you doing here? 21, I couldn't believe it. She's like the woman, this family that was in front of me at Albertsons today. I don't know what they were doing. They must have been planning some kind of a party because they have all this crap. And the line says, the big sign, in plain English. And I couldn't help but wonder if that was the problem because they were speaking Spanish, and I thought maybe these people can't read English. But the sign says, in huge letters, 10 items or less. Cash only. Annette, hi, you're on WIOD.
Hi there.
Hi, Annette.
I was calling because I think the problem lies in the store personnel and the cashiers. I have been so aggravated when I've gone in and had that same situation that the cashiers, if you bring it to their attention, they just kind of shrug and they don't say anything about it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I mean, the girl's giving me a dirty look and saying to me it's cash only. And I'm like, I know it's cash only, you idiot. That's why I'm standing in this line. Whereas these two jerk-offs with the, you know, with the 21 items and the credit card, she says, have a nice day.
I know. And I happen to have a big family, and I very seldom get to go through the express line. So it really does irritate me when that happens to me because I get to go through the express line maybe once or twice a year.
Right.
And it never fails at the time I get to go through, somebody's got 20 items. It happened to me at Walmart just about 2 weeks ago.
See, and I just want to strangle them. I want to strangle the cashier. I want to strangle the people who are in the wrong line.
Well, I do speak up, and I have said something to the cashiers on several occasions, and they just shrug their shoulders. And I say, well, you know, what's to keep me from doing it then? Why shouldn't everybody just come through here with a whole cart full of stuff?
Because like me, you are a nice person, and you wouldn't do that.
Well, I may not be nice, but...
Well, you follow the rules. And you know, Annette, we get nowhere by following the rules. Thanks for calling WIOD. I'm Karen Kay. It's WIOD.
WIOD.
WIOD, I'm Karen Kay. And I get really pissed off at people in the grocery store who can't figure out what the hell it is that they're going to do before they get up to the line. It's not just this couple in Albertsons today with their annoying child, their 21 items, and their credit card in the cash-only 10 items or less lane. It's the people who are going to write a check. And they don't they don't bother to fill it out until they get up to the front. You know the name of the store. You may not know the amount, but you know your signature. You know the name of the store. You could take care of all of that business before you get up there and make the rest of us wait even longer. In Broward, 767 WIOD. Hi, Fred in Sunrise. You're on WIOD.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Fred.
Yeah, what even gets even worse pissed off is with some of these old people. I live in Sunrise where it's young rice.
Right.
And I have a Publix where I go to, and it is incredible. They have two express lanes, or three.
Right.
But they got 10 old people in it at the same time with two different stashes of 5s or 6s or 8 items each.
Right.
And their friend comes, and they're shopping while they're waiting in line, and they come in, oh, come here, honey, I got your spot right here. So then they have the express lane covered. It takes longer to get through the express lane of that Publix and Sunrise than it does waiting behind someone, like you said, who's buying South Africa.
An entire food supply.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes you really are better off behind that woman because,
Actually,
they've got a family to feed, they're on the ball, and they know what they're doing.
That's very true. That's very true.
Maybe, I have an idea, Fred. Maybe there should be an old people's lane.
Well, there should be.
For people,
citizen lane.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
and make the senior citizens feel special rather than calling it old people. You're right, we'll call it senior
so
citizens.
When they get the bill, they know how much it was,
and
then they get their little pocketbook of change.
And they can pull out the little pennies one by one, count them out. That's a great idea.
Exactly, I agree.
We may have to start a movement here, Fred. Thanks. Whoops, sorry.
And about having sex with somebody you work with, just don't let anybody know that you have it. And that's
late.
It. And every now and then do a little bit in the closet at work, and then have a challenge. Make it a challenge.
You think that'll work?
That's the only way to go.
All right, Fred, thanks for calling WIOD. In Dade, 622 WIOD. I think that may be the solution to the problem, is have a special senior citizen lane. You can count out your change. You can take your time. The rest of us don't care. Do whatever the hell you want. Just get out of my way. Hi, Lloyd. You're on WIOD.
Hey there. How you doing?
Hey, I have a question. Is it Dania? I just got here yesterday. Dania? I can't hear you.
Dania. That's between Hollywood and Fort Lauderdale.
But I'm saying it right?
Dania, yeah.
Dania. Okay. I just got here yesterday, so I have to learn these names. All right, go ahead, Lloyd. Sorry.
Well, here's a story for you. Not to change your supermarket line story, but how about bank lines? How about bank drive-thrus?
That's fine.
Well, I pulled up yesterday at a bank in Fort Lauderdale with a very simple transaction. Well, there's a well-dressed 35-year-old guy or so in a white Lexus. You figure he's going to come and go. He looks like an intelligent guy. Well, first he has to ask for a deposit slip. Then he has to ask for a pen.
Oh, my God.
Then he screws up the deposit slip. So he's got to get another deposit slip, fills that out, gets his transaction done, and I'm ready to move. Well, then he's got another transaction. Well, the sign says 3 transactions. I was stuck in that line for 25 minutes. I was the second car online, and that man was in the drive-through window at a bank for 25 minutes.
I hate to ask this. How old was this person?
He was about 35. Well,
old, young enough to know better.
In the downtown Fort Lauderdale district, looked like a professional guy of sorts. Didn't have a clue.
At moments like that, don't you wish you had a gun? I mean, really? Or something?
Well, I don't, but I did get out of the car and offer to help him with his deposit slip. Because, I was on a lunch break and I needed to get back to work myself.
Lloyd, thanks for calling WIOD. Automobile, pound IOD in Broward, 767 WIOD. It's, I actually, it's not just grocery stores. It's grocery stores where I get the most annoyed. But this happened to me recently at a Marshall's. I'm standing at now see, this always happens too, because I buy in some ways I shop like a man, in that traditionally, women spend a lot of time shopping and pick out stuff and spend hours and buy a few things. And what I sort of do is I know what I want. I go in and I get it and I want to go. I want to move on to the next event. That's how I shop in the grocery store. I don't go in and think, well, every once in a while I'll pick up something that I used to write lists. I don't really do that anymore, but I usually have a pretty good idea of what it is that I want. I cruise up and down the aisles. I pick it up. I throw it in my basket, and I keep moving. I don't stop traffic. I don't stand in the middle of the aisle. What the hell is that about? Got some woman standing in the middle of the aisle. I mean, I'm happy if you want to stand there and read the labels, but excuse me, move your cart to the side so people can get by. This is just simple common courtesy, and it's like these people don't get it. But anyway, I'm at a Marshall's, and I have... here I am again. I have 2 items. I don't even remember what I had, but it was, like chocolate and something else and a shirt. And I'm behind a woman who is buying a bunch of stuff, and that's fine. It's Marshall's. You can do whatever you want there. She's buying all this crap. There's only one cashier. There's only one register open, so I have to stand behind this woman. So I have no choice. There is nowhere else for me to go. So I'm standing behind this woman, and she is buying a lot of stuff. So I stood there, I don't know, it seemed like 5 minutes. It probably wasn't quite that long, while the cashier was ringing up all of her stuff. And she bought almost $250, $230 worth of stuff, which at Marshall's is a lot. You can get a lot for that there. And then the cashier says, okay, it's $238, I think is what it's, $238. And then the woman pulls out her wallet and starts flipping through her wallet. And is flipping through her wallet. And continues to flip through her wallet. And I'm standing there, and I'm getting more and more agitated. And finally, she reaches into her purse, and she pulls out another wallet. And she's flipping through her other wallet. And then, after this has gone on for a good long time, she says, oh, I guess I left my money in the car. You stupid idiot. It's like, what, she didn't know she was going to need money? She stood there for, even if it was 3 minutes, while the cashier was ringing up all her stuff. Wouldn't you think that at some point she would go into her purse to pull out her wallet and her money? I mean, granted, she doesn't know what the final total is going to be, but she's got kind of a vague idea probably before tax. And she had planned to pay cash, I assume. So wouldn't you think to check whether or not you had the money with you before you stood in the line and let the cashier ring everything up? And I'm standing there. That time I actually did say something. I didn't say, but see, I'm still a wussy. I didn't really say, all I said was, oh my God, I can't believe this. And then I went, there was like a manager at the service desk where they only take returns and they won't ring you up. And I went over to the manager and I said, what are you going to do about this? I've been here for 5 minutes. Now the cashier won't take me, because the woman had to go out to her car to get the money. She didn't have any money with her. She went into the store. She bought $238 worth of stuff, and she left her money in her car. Don't you, when you go into a store, don't you, plan to have the money with you? In Dade, 622 WIOD. So I go to the manager and I say, look, this is ridiculous, this woman, this is what she's doing. And he rang me up. And then he said, I know this woman. She does this all the time. So I started thinking about it. It's like, maybe this is her one big chance to, like, I don't know, to be in control. Maybe that's, I mean, I probably shouldn't bother to analyze it, but if she does it all the time, she goes to the store, she buys a lot of stuff, she buys tons of stuff, and she doesn't have any money. She has it with her, but she doesn't actually have it with her. And she goes through this whole charade of going through 2 different wallets trying to find money, which there isn't any. And part of me thinks, she probably knew she didn't have any money. She probably knew it was in her car. And this is her one big chance to be in control. And I kind of, I thought about that when I was standing, because this happened like a week or 2 ago. But I was thinking about that when I was in the grocery store line today at Albertsons behind these 2 people. I thought, maybe they just both have a really sucky life and everything is wrong in their life. And this is their one chance to, I don't know, control things. Shopping nightmares. Why don't these people know? If you're going to go through the line, if you're going to get a coupon, please get it out before you get to the front of the line. This is WIOD.
610 WIOD.
WIOD, I'm Karen Kay. Music to sleep by. I'm feeling very mellow. I'm not mellow. I'm completely hyped up. I'm jazzed. I'm like... Because thinking about these really annoying people in grocery stores just gets me going. It's so simple. You go to the store, when you're in an Albertsons or a Publix or a Walmart or a Marshalls or a Target or a Kmart or whatever, that you're in there to buy something. You know that in order to buy something, you will need money or a credit card or a check. Why is it that it's so complicated for some people, apparently? Maybe they just really and truly, maybe they can't read. Maybe, I was wondering with this couple that I was behind today, when the guy was looking at the big, enormous sign that nobody could miss that said cash only, 10 items or less, when he was looking at it with kind of a perplexed look, like, I was looking at him trying to figure out whether it was something that he couldn't figure out what the sign meant, or if he just noticed it, or if he just realized that maybe it did, in fact, apply to him. In Dade, 622-WIOD, and Broward, 767-WIOD. For Mobile One and AT&T wireless customers, it's pound IOD. Shopping nightmares. And, then because I'm the kind of person who I know what I want. I know what I want at the grocery store. I know how much I'm going to spend. I know how much it's going to cost. I'm ready to go. I'm spending money. I know approximately what the total is going to be. I have my money out. And I'm really embarrassed if I count out the change. I mean, so I try to sort of, I want to give exact change when I can because I don't want a wallet full of coins. But I will not stand there and count. I mean, I stand behind these old people sometimes, and, they're really sweet as they count out their penny. 16 cents. Let's see. Was 1 nickel 5, and there's another nickel. Now we have 10. Wait. I've got 6 pennies. And they count them out one at a time. Me, on the other hand, I get to the line, and I'm thinking, okay, now I don't want to inconvenience anybody, so I'm going to dump the entire contents of my change purse into my hand and count it out as quickly as I can. Because there's no excuse for dawdling in a grocery store. I think the solution may be a senior citizen lane. Just for senior citizens. Maybe we could just require them all to stand in the lane. Although it wouldn't have helped me today because the 2 people I was with were far from seniors. They were just idiots. An idiot lane wouldn't be a terrible idea. Why do some people not understand the basic